in America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary hanging out with you guys. What's up, Rico?
Hey there.
How's it going?
I'm here.
It's
working.
Going all right.
Excited for volleyball tonight. I think
That's
I'm gonna go to the Kansas Miami game as well. So
Is that one at 4?
4:30.
4:30.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna be there by 3:30.
Well, we will
Get set up and
yeah,
get
for
ready.
sure. Yeah, we'll definitely get to the whole volleyball breakdown here in a couple minutes. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the entire show today. Send us your thoughts, whatever's on your mind, let us know. Once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, open forum. Well, not okay, just kidding. No, it's not.
not an open forum.
Not an open forum. Any thoughts?
I'm gonna open this up the same way I open up the water cooler. In involving the Mickey Joseph chatter, we do not have any more information than what was provided to everyone via the police report that was released and via the email that was sent out through the University of Nebraska. We don't have any more information, so we're not going to speak on it anymore. We just know that an incident happened. Mickey Joseph was arrested, and that's all we know. We're not going to speak on speculation. We're not going to speak on rumors. So if you have any questions about the rumors circulating, we're not going to talk about it. Yeah. What we know is what was provided in the police report. What we know is there was an incident. Mickey was arrested, and that's it. I don't know anything else. Nick doesn't know anything else. So we're leaving it at that until we're provided with more information. And when we are provided with information, we'll vet that information and we'll bring it to you if we determine it to be true.
Yep. And once again, as DP said it, yesterday, from an athletic standpoint, Trev Albert's statement, quote, "I was made aware of the charges against Coach Joseph, and given the nature of the allegations and based upon university policy, he has been placed on administrative leave. We will have no additional comment at this time." So that's from the athletic perspective. And I will just take this moment once again and say, if you are one of those that does enjoy looking at Twitter, looking at rumors, swarming yourself, and you actually put value in what you see from either fan accounts or Twitter trolls or whatever it may be, I would highly recommend to cleanse from that just a little bit.
Today might not be a Twitter day.
Because the
until
amount of
volleyball,
then
I'll let you know.
The amount of junk that is going out is around. It'll make you crazy. And once again, as Rico just said, it's all speculation. And frankly, if this coaching search now, not to compare it at all to a coaching search or to athletics, but through the past, if we've learned anything, Twitter and fan accounts don't usually know the truth. They don't usually know what's going on until it's reported. So once again, I would just, if you're one of those that likes to surround yourself and in that pool, then that's fine. But I would tell you that don't put any as much stock as you would into a police report or into an official statement.
And on the text line, see, we're not going to talk about what happened just because, like, it's not that we're not going to talk about what happened. We know what happened. We read the police report. We arrested for what did the police report say? Something about third degree assault and strangulation. We understand that, but we don't know anything else. Yeah. We don't know anything else about that. We just know what was in the police report, and that's why we're not going to talk about any more speculation, because there's nothing to say what happened before, what happened during, what happened after. We just know what was in the report and what they fed to all of us. That's it. So when I talk about speculation, that's what I'm talking about, is what happened before, during, and after. We just know what they told us, so we're not going to talk about the rest of it because nobody knows except for the parties involved.
It's funny. So unnamed texter texted in. It's funny that what you guys call, quote, junk. There's a police report. It happened. We're calling the speculation and the rumors of who's involved and how everything went down. That is junk. Not because I don't have a clue what's true. I don't know, but I the report and the official statements from both Lincoln Police Department and the athletic department as well. I don't know what else. And here's the deal: if you guys do know, hey, congratulations. Congratulations.
You know something we don't know.
You know way more than we do. But I think it's very smart to just warn people that in a passionate city like Lincoln, Nebraska is, when it comes to something like Husker football, I think it's very important that we just say have caution when reading every little message board, every little tweet, and putting value in it and taking it as gospel.
And to me, so this has nothing to do with football. This is a family issue between the Josephs and between the police department of Lincoln. This has absolutely nothing to do with football. This has absolutely nothing to do with this station. We are not involved with it. No other station is involved with it. No fan account is involved with it. The Husker football, Nebraska football is involved with it because he was the interim coach. He is an assistant coach. He's a wide receivers coach, whatever. They're involved with it that way, but this is not a football issue. This is a family issue. And this person asking, I don't even know if I want to read it, but okay, I'm gonna read it. I don't care. Why is this station afraid to denounce domestic violence? We're not. Nobody here is not denouncing domestic violence. That is terrible.
Yeah. And here's the deal. We don't need to get into that conversation, so we can just go ahead and move on. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. We did feel like it was important for us to give our initial thoughts.
It's something that has to be mentioned.
We're not going to not talk about it because once again, we are going to report the facts, and that's why we are here. That's why we're here. But that's where Rico and I are at. And I think the message across the entire station has been, and here's the deal. If anything I've learned, one, you're not going to make everybody happy. You're not going to please everybody. And somebody's always going to complain about how you decide to handle a situation. And so I appreciate the people that are vocal about it, but that's here we are. And if you want to come at us, that's fine. But last time I checked, our job as media members, and whether it's an athletic department issue, whether it involved a player, whoever it is, I think it's important to say that as a media member and as a journalist, it's you report the facts. You report the facts, and Twitter and message boards and all that other stuff, that junk. When we say junk, that's what we're referring to. Mm-hmm. That's not fact. That is not just because somebody that has a couple thousand followers on Twitter tweets out something involving any situation, whether it's something as serious as domestic violence and as heinous, or as something as light as a guy entering the transfer portal. I'm not putting value in it until I hear it from an official spokesperson, whether that be a police department, whether that be law enforcement, whether that be the athletic department, whether that be somebody in charge. That's how I roll. And I think when you clump everybody at the station together, and I don't think I'm even speaking out of turn when I say this, we all operate under that same belief. We do not put value into garbage. That's just not how any of us roll. It's not how DP has taught us to roll as a boss, and that's not how any of us want to roll as coworkers or as media members. That's just not how we do it. And so I guess at the end of the day, if you have a problem with that, then you are more than welcome to turn the dial. But I guess with that in mind, you are always under the understanding that when you turn on 93.7 The Ticket, whatever show from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. some nights for ticket weeknights, there's going to be facts reported. Speculation in some situations are fine, whatever. But 99.9% of the time, it's a waste of time. It is a waste of time, and here we are. So with that being said, Husker basketball. How about that? Great performance last night. I was in attendance. I thought, honestly, I thought there was a decent – here's the deal. I thought there was a decent crowd on hand for an 8:15 p.m. tip-off.
It was late
against Boston College.
That's late for anybody in Boston that wanted to stay up and watch this game.
That's true. I thought it was a decent crowd on hand. And when a guy like Keisei Tominaga decides to go off and tie his career high of 23 points, get a little bit more. And I mean, it's nice to sit there as the Husker fan in me. When there was 4 minutes left in the game or so, or 5 minutes even, if you wanted to back it up a little bit longer, and sit there and say, you know what, Nebraska put this game away. They put this game away on the shoulders of Keisei Tominaga, who tied his career high once again.
Keisei was
on who was just fun to watch. Here's the deal: his mannerisms after he makes a shot, after he has an assist, they're just fun to watch because the guy always decides to have some pageantry to his celebration.
He is fantastic. He's amazing. He's that spark plug off the bench that Nebraska really needs. And look, when he's on, he's on.
Yeah,
exactly. He was perfect in the first half.
It was funny. So this part was off the air, off the camera. In the post-game press conference, Fred Hoiberg, actually a friend of the show, I should say, Jacob Padilla of Hail Varsity was asked Fred after the post-game press conference, hey, what did you think when Keisei just shrugged off the screens? Because there was a moment in there when Keisei was trying to do a heat check that he shrugged off the play call. He's just like, give me the rock. No, we're doing this. Give me the rock and get out of my way. We're doing this. When in the recent weeks here's the deal. I mean, in the recent weeks, Keisei, it's been that man has not seen a defender. I mean, he just pulls up.
Keisei does not know
and launches from anywhere.
He doesn't know a bad shot.
Yeah.
He doesn't see the rim is 1,000 feet wide to him, regardless of where he's at, regardless of who's in front of him. He feels like he can make it from anywhere on the court. And last night he was shooting everything. So, he was doing great. And like you said, he shrugged off the screen. It was fantastic. The skied layup that he made reminded me of his 3-on-3 with Japan. That's
when you realize. I think that's when people in the arena realize, like, all right, Keisei's got it tonight, because Keisei now. The offense is what's easy to take note in, but there are two parts of his game that kind of were catching all of us. And I was watching the game with Strick until he left, halfway through the second half or so to come do the post-game show. But I was watching the game with Strick and a couple guys. And we were all kind of just like taking note and just continuing to be in awe and watching Keisei not only moving without the basketball, the backdoor cuts, the finding the open spaces in the floor, but also on defense. And it really showed, I think, when this team, Nebraska has been such a poor shooting team over the last couple years. They've also been a team that's been focused on one guy. They've been forced to have one single player every night, like, hey, we need you to score 25 or 30 points. This season, it's not that way. Like, if you look at the box score last night, Derek Walker was 5 of 6 from the field, had himself a good game, although he had some foul trouble. The referees were whistle happy last night.
Yeah, they were feeling themselves. They wanted to be involved in the game early, and they did get involved in the game early. Well, a silver lining to Derek Walker's foul trouble is Blaise Keita was forced into action and played really well. Had 8 rebounds, 4 offensive, and he's pushing his weight. He's pushing his weight down there. He's jumping up over people, getting the boards, and not just going straight back up with it. He's finding the open man and getting them the ball, getting a couple assists in there, and moving pretty well for a big man. Taking 2 charges, which is always weird to me when a big man takes a charge, because I'm like, you should just go up and block it, right? But no, you get in your stance, you get in your defensive position, and you're like, all right, I'm not going to be able to block this. Let me just stand in the way real quick.
Yeah, so here's what's and that's kind of what I was going to allude to. You hit it on the head, Rico. Blaise Keita, he's one of those guys that when Derek Walker was out because of health reasons and missed those games, Blaise Keita was forced to grow up fast and be ready to play Division I basketball right off the bat. And there were definitely some growing pains, and I still think there are some as we sit here, on December 1st in Nebraska with a 5-3 record. I think there are still some growing pains that Kita's experiencing. However, that man, he's a guy that is much needed depth and provides much needed depth for when Nebraska gets into the gauntlet. And Nebraska's on the outside looking in of a gauntlet, facing them right back in the face with a matchup on Sunday against number 7 Creighton on the road at CHI. Then you have Indiana in Assembly Hall. Number 10 Indiana, who just beat previously rated number 1 North Carolina in the ACC Challenge. And then you come back home on December 10th and face a top 10 team in Purdue as well.
Zach Edey.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, when you look at this gauntlet, now, Nebraska, I guess, here we are sitting here looking at these next 3 games, and I think there's value in Nebraska getting a couple wins beneath their belt before they play in this gauntlet. So what's crazy is these last 2 games, obviously 2 wins against Power 5 opponents. Mm-hmm. It is the first time under Fred Hoiberg that they've won 2 straight games against Power 5 opponents.
A lot of firsts going on this year.
In non-con. So it's just interesting here when you look at how this team is built up, and we go back to the idea that they don't need somebody to drop a 30 burger every single night for them to not only stay competitive, but even give them the chance to win. A big reason why is because they're also playing much better defense this year.
Yes.
They're much more active on the defensive side of the ball, of the floor.
The man switching zone type defense that they're running at the top of the key between the guards. And it really helps that your guards and your Walker and Blaze, all of your forwards and guards can guard 1 through 4.
Exactly.
They're all, 6'4" and above or something around there, outside of Casey Tominaga.
Well,
and they're all able to guard. They're switching. Who was it? It was Bandamel, Griesel, and Gary. Juwan Gary. They're up top switching between all of the Boston College players, and nobody's able to get an open shot or drive by anybody because they're all, kind of the same, not the exact same build, but they're all strong and long and lanky to a way that they're able to hang with just about anybody that they were facing against Boston College. I don't know about the rest of the, once we get into Big Ten play and beyond, but right now with the teams that they've been facing, they're able to match up pretty well 1 through 3.
I would also add that I think an underrated piece of this team. Now, I don't want to make it sound like they're an undefeated team and we're claiming that they're going to be an NCAA tournament type of roster. But I think when you're a Husker basketball fan, you kind of take the small victories when you can get them. And I think one of the underrated pieces of Nebraska and getting so far 5 wins under their belt. I mean, here's the deal there. I mean, when you look at Nebraska and the expectations going into the season, you're hoping for a around 500 conference record. Mm-hmm. And with that, with some easier non-con games mixed in there, Nebraska's non-con slate isn't done yet. They'll still have the battle at the Vault later here in December, where they'll face Queens, and it's featuring Queens, Mississippi State, Drake. Like there's a couple of other teams in there as well. But when you look at just expectations at prior to the year, and this was a year where, and it still is, Fred Hoiberg's seat is hot, and expectations don't change just because a coach's seat is hot. Nebraska basketball needs to find a way to stay above 500 overall in records. And one way you do that is you play better defense. And one way you do that is you get size. And Nebraska did that with the addition of Blaze Kita with a healthy, and I want to reiterate that, a healthy Wilhelm Breidenbach. I think you also did that with adding a guy like Juwan Gary, who's had experience back at Alabama, and Emmanuel Bandamel from SMU. Like, and also finding a point guard in Sam Griesel that doesn't need to, he doesn't look for his shot every single possession. Like that man, you'll notice he have 7 assists early in the second half, but 0 points on 0 shots. And then all of a sudden he'll go on a spurt.
Yeah, it's not like he can't score.
Yeah.
He's just choosing to set everybody up before himself.
Yeah, so And Craig says Fred isn't hot, it's on fire. And here's the deal, Craig. I guess when Nebraska gets to the end of the season, and I obviously don't want to look too far ahead, when Nebraska gets to the end of the season, or we're find ourselves in January talking about, Nebraska's have, first couple games in conference slate and they finally wrapped up non-con and things like that, we're going to sit here and say, well, okay, let's look at progress. Let's see what are things that we can point to show that maybe Fred is finally, figuring out he has the right guys around him in Nate Lenzer and Ernie Ziegler and Adam Howard, who's the new addition as well. What are the things that we can point to? One of those is hopefully so far, knock on wood, you don't have a bad loss like you did the previous years, and how Nebraska basketball is notorious for losing to Incarnate Word or losing to Kennesaw State. Like you don't have that bad loss in the non-con, where that's one of those. If Nebraska eventually ever wants to get to being a postseason type of team,
if you're sitting on the bubble, that's not good.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of those losses that sticks out like a sore thumb if you lose the game, but if you win it, nobody ever focuses on it. It doesn't do anything for you. It does a lot more bad than good, right? And so Nebraska first has to avoid that, and then they need to avoid, figuring out a way to avoid a massive slump in the middle of the season. I mean, there was times where they've lost double-digit games in a row the last couple of years, and they got to avoid that. And so you kind of just take this thing one step at a time, I suppose. And so far, through 8 games, they, for the most part, have beaten the teams that they're supposed to beat. They don't have bad losses, but they haven't necessarily been extremely tested either. They beat Florida State, which is a bad basketball team. You beat Boston College at home in the Big Ten ACC Challenge on an ESPN network. And now you turn around and here we are. You face number 7 Creighton on Sunday on the road, and it's followed up by 2 top 10 teams as well behind them. So it's an opportunity. And if you want to watch Creighton a little bit before Nebraska plays them on Sunday, they have to go on the road to Austin, Texas, and play the number 2 Longhorns tonight. So
that's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a good game. And remember, just if you're slowly getting into basketball season, they added Baylor Shireman, the South Dakota State transfer, as well. And he's
turns out he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. So there we are. All right. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Both those continue to be open for you guys. Appreciate all the positive texts. I appreciate that, because a lot of times the negative ones can get, can cover up all the positive ones, and those ones get lost in the shuffle. So we appreciate you guys. Appreciate you folks for sticking with us. Uncomfortable day. It's just not, I don't know if uncomfortable is right. It's just a disappointing day, a sad day. And thoughts or prayers are with everybody involved. I think that goes without saying. Also, I did this on the drive, Rico, and I think it's important that with our platform, we do this as well. If you or somebody that needs help, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's sexual assault, whether it's suicide, whatever it may be, I don't want to leave anything out. Make sure you know the numbers to call. Make sure they know that there's people there for them. Make sure that they have the resources available. I think it's important that we bump that out, because I think it's important that we try to bring as much attention in light of these situations, and hopefully so we can limit and mitigate maybe these kind of things from happening more and more often. So just want to make sure that we have that, and just to kind of remind everybody that there are services available if you ever do, or somebody finds themselves in a situation like this. So, all right, let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll dive into Husker football, actual Husker football discussions. Nebraska officially announced 6 assistants. Matt Rule did. And so we'll talk about those a little bit, and then we'll also dive deep into Husker volleyball with our good old friend Rico, because
I'll do my best.
Yeah, no, because we got a big game tonight. Delaware State, big match, I should say.
Big match
against Delaware State, and then obviously
possibly if
Kansas,
Nebraska,
Miami.
Yeah, I don't want to just assume things. If Nebraska wins, they'll get the winner of Kansas and Miami.
There it is. And there's a former Husker on Kansas's roster.
Yes.
So we'll let you know about that when we come back. We'll dive into all things Husker. Want to hear your guys' thoughts. Give us a call, shoot us a text. You guys know the drill. 402-464-5685. We'll be right back on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter And next.
Center in Wave on Friday or from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday to learn more about their opportunities for your next career. Interviews will be conducted both days. Wages grow up to $20 per hour. Make plans to attend Friday or Saturday at 12851 Dover Street in Waverly. And if you can't make it, you can always apply at tractorsupply.jobs or text Tractor DC to 255 for life out here.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes, that's why our customers keep coming.
Do you do it, friendly car dealer ?
We simply have low overhead and high trade-in values. The next line's yours.
Oh.
Ready for something better? Mullen Motors is a no-hassle, no-pressure dealership with financing available. Check out the inventory app. Mike Mullen Motors.
Lighting Levion Jewelry Collection. Levion is known for their love of reinventing fine designer jewelry through unique combinations of chocolate diamonds, vibrant gemstones, and precious metals. Levion and Riddles Jewelry, two family-owned businesses who put customers at the heart of what they do. No one colors your world better than Levion, so visit Riddles Jewelry today and receive $100 off.
Cornerstones of our communities, and it's communities that ensure students have great public schools. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Learning happens at home, in school, and everywhere in between. We all have a role to play in supporting student learning in the classroom and beyond. Help us make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
The most innovative ag technology that exists today on display in one place at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Autonomous and robotic equipment, precision ag, commodity marketing gurus, and more. All in the brand new Innovation Hub at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Come check it out December 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Lancaster Event Center in Lincoln. Register online at NebraskaAgExpo.com to your events and save $5. The Nebraska Ag Expo is sponsored by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. Has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, condition, install, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6666 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Guys, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has changed my life. I'm healthier, I'm more fit, I have more energy. Oh yeah, I've lost a bunch of weight, almost 100 pounds. Now's the time for you to take control of your health and join the Farrell's 10-week challenge. The program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition to set you up for success. And ticket listeners, you can get in for half off. The next challenge starts on January 7th at both of their locations, 40th and Yankee Hill, and their brand new spot at 70th and Vine. Get all the info at fx3lincoln.com. Join today. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Expect mostly sunny skies. It will be a little windy here for our Thursday. South winds gusting over 30. See an afternoon high of 49. Those winds will remain a bit strong tonight with lows dropping down to around 36. We should be very mild tomorrow with a high of 61. With a strong cold front will be moving through by late tomorrow afternoon. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money, but like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out I'm taking financial start and retirement saving on your budget and your timeline. That's KSaySaveIt.org, AARP, and the Ad Council.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Stainer and Enrique Alvarez, sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
(402-464-5685), the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys. One quick. Okay, so we got a couple of football notes that I want to get to, and kind of a continuation off the conversation that we had earlier. But to put a bow on the basketball thing, so my favorite one of the favorite things from K-State's whole performance last night was, and I should have gotten the audio. I should have put my phone up there so we could have the audio of K-State talking. But basically in the post-game press conference, Robin Washut of On 3 asked him, "Hey, so K-State, when did you think, when did you realize that you were on? When did you realize that you were going to be hot tonight, and have a big night?" And he said, probably the first shot. That's all he said. He's like, probably the first shot.
My man's hit a shot and he
goes,
goes,
like,
"Yep,
I'm here.
Yep,
I'm here."
that's it. When the first shot goes in, you're like, "Yep, this is it."
It's just
a
awesome.
volume shooter like him. Yeah, no, it's somebody that can get as hot as he can, as quickly as he can. That first shot, that's it. That's all he needs.
Yeah,
he's just sitting there posing after a three, putting his arm up after the layup. Like, he's having a blast. That shot from the corner right in front of his bench, where he ended up running down. Boston College called a timeout. He ended up running all the way down and like shoulder checking the stanchion on the other side. Dude, he got it. There was a dude literally in his face, and he's like, "You know what? I'm throwing it up. Nothing but net." It was just, he just, like you said before, he didn't see a defender. There was nobody on that court but him.
Mm-hmm. So here is, we said that if there's new reports, new information that comes out, we will let you guys know. This was Matt Rule was actually on the Jim Rome show earlier today, and Jim Rome asked Matt Rule on about Mickey Joseph, and Matt Rule said this, quote, "I was obviously surprised. I had met Mickey once just prior to that. I was scheduled to actually talk to him again yesterday. I was shocked and surprised. Hopefully everything gets resolved." Matt Rule added, "I spoke to him before all this happened. I met with the whole staff, all the guys that were here before. We were scheduled again to meet yesterday, but obviously things have changed since then." So that's Matt Rule. Just kind of first thing that we've heard from Matt Rule
on this situation.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, let's
transition.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make a hard transition. Okay, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the rest of the way here. All right, let's dive into Husker.
I think people still listen to Jim Rome.
I'm not even sure where you could listen to it.
I'm not either.
I'm wondering.
I didn't know Jim Rome still had a
guys,
show.
I'm wondering if those guys have now like a stream capability. That's how they.
Probably.
That's how they. Who knows? But appreciate you guys listening to the happy hour.
Yeah.
So
thank you guys for listening to us.
Okay, so
we're better than Jim Rome.
Yeah, exactly.
Except we can't get Matt Rule on the show.
There is. Well, yeah, we actually can't. Like, we are not allowed. Here's another breaking news in the world of college football. Michigan running back Blake Corum is to have knee surgery out season.
Dang it.
The Heisman candidate should make a full recovery. He tried to play last week versus Ohio State, but his torn ACL in the knee made it impossible. So with that in mind, does Purdue have a shot on Saturday?
I don't know. Did you see Michigan's backup?
Well, yeah. I understand.
He went off against
I understand
Ohio
who
State.
it is.
Michigan.
It's Michigan.
Purdue always has a chance against ranked teams. That's just kind of their thing. I think they're 3-0 versus ranked teams this year.
Yeah.
So that's just their thing. Is they go against a ranked team, everybody kind of counts them out, and then they show up and they show out. So I'm not gonna say that they don't have a chance, but in my mind, Michigan does all the things that kind of counter Purdue. So I would still, bet on Michigan.
Unnamed texter says, "Why aren't you allowed to have Rule on?" There's stuff with university. It doesn't let coaches come on other stations. Us are fine. So head coaches of lesser sports, not even lesser. It's like the big three are not allowed.
We can't Unless you're a Husker Radio affiliate,
yes,
you
that's what I
can't
was
have the
thinking.
head coach of football, men's basketball, or baseball.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are the those are the three.
Can we have John Cook?
I think John Cook is an interesting one.
I don't think we can. I
don't
think he's
think
an
you
exception.
Can. I think he's kind of an exception since he's who he is.
But we can get women's basketball, track
Yep.
and field, wrestling, rifle, swimming and diving, both
Bowling.
gymnastics,
Yeah,
bowling.
exactly.
We can get any of them.
And we can get assistance from the
We can get
big
assistance
three,
from
the
football
big
and
three or big four.
Yeah, we've had Jalen Reyes. Well, DP's had Jalen Reyes.
DP has Jalen Reyes. We have Tyler says, well, Hoiberg was on with Sam.
That's
Yes.
different.
There's go ahead. And here's the deal.
Maybe they went through something and it was just okay. I don't know.
I
I wrote the board for that one.
We're just telling you what
Fred Hoiberg. I got it.
I mean, what we hear, what we have.
We're told.
Yeah. So there it is. All right. So let's dive into Husker volleyball here because they host Delaware State. Delaware State making their first appearance into the NCAA tournament this season. I mean, Rico, kind of break it down. Delaware State doesn't have a shot.
Delaware State. Okay. I'm
Because
never gonna say
there's a height disparity.
Yeah, there is. Okay, but that's usually what happens. So Delaware
Yes.
State is the MEAC champions. Okay. They are, if you look at, defensive opponent hitting percentage, right? Nebraska is ranked number 1 in the country in defensive hitting and opponent hitting percentage. Delaware State is ranked 2nd.
Yeah.
Now, the difference is Nebraska plays in the Big Ten and has played multiple Power 5 opponents. Delaware State has played one Power 5 opponent. That is West Virginia in a match that they lost. Other than that, they've played other lower conference opponents, including obviously all the teams in the MEAC. They're the MEAC champions, as I said. They have 5 players at 6'1". That's as tall as they get. Nebraska has 8 players over 6'2". Only one of them doesn't play a decent amount, and that would be Maggie Mendelson, who is, I believe, splitting her practice time between volleyball and basketball. Maybe she's just practicing for volleyball, especially at this current state. But she'll be joining the basketball team once the volleyball season is over for the Huskers. But yeah, it's there's a slight height discrepancy, but that's usually what happens in these first round matchups with the higher seeds and the lower conference champions. Is the taller, better athletes usually go to the better schools.
yeah.
And that's just kind of what happens. But I wouldn't count them all the way out. They're still a scrappy team. Again, they're 2nd in opponent hitting percentage. They're really good defensively. I think John Cook was letting us know that they're really quick. They cover really well on the defensive side of things. And look, they're not going to be afraid to take some rips. Obviously, they're gonna put up a fight. I don't really expect this game to go past 3 sets. I'm expecting Nebraska to sweep them and then set up a match with the winner of Miami and Kansas tomorrow. I misspoke on the water cooler. It's tomorrow. So that's something that's happening.
So here, just to give the listeners a little more information on Delaware State, 24-6 overall. As Rico said, they won their first MEAC championship since 1986 to earn its first ever bid to the NCAA tournament. They enter Lincoln with a 9-game winning streak. They are 2nd nationally with 2.22 aces per set and are tied for 3rd in the country with 242 team service aces all season long.
That is impressive.
That's impressive. Now, as Rico said, John Cook was telling the media earlier this week that Delaware State is a pretty solid defensive team. Here's where Nebraska and Delaware State have something in common. They lead the nation, and I know Rico's mentioned this earlier this week, lead the nation in opponent hitting percentage. The Huskers have a .129 clip, and Delaware State is holding their opponents to a .132 hitting percentage. And then it goes on to say that the article that I'm reading, senior libero, or senior libero, however you want to pronounce it.
It depends on
who you're talking to. Yeah. Jasmine Cruz leads the Hornets with 4.3 digs per set. So that's just a little bit of information on Delaware State. 24-6 overall. They went 11-3 in conference play as well.
They do have Sydney Lewis, who ranks number 2 in the nation in hitting percentage. She's hitting .449 and averages 1.92 kills and 1.12 blocks per set. So again, they're coming in here. They're a Cinderella story. They have nothing to lose. It's their first tournament appearance. They're coming to Lincoln. They're going to experience the Devaney Center for, I believe, the first time. So it's going to be really interesting. It'll be a fun match. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of long rallies and some crazy defensive plays from both squads. But I do expect Nebraska to sweep this one. Allie Batenhorst is still playing all 6 rotations, along with Maddie Kubik, with the loss of Kenzie Knuckles last Wednesday to a torn ACL. So she'll be, all over the place. Hopefully, he said that she's been practicing better. Her back row defense has been getting a lot better, but it's going to be up to her and Maddie, going all 6 rotations to keep things covered up. My laptop should be muted, and it's not. I apologize for that.
That's right.
But yeah, it's going to be really interesting, and I'm not, a volleyball savant, but I'm expecting a decent amount of kills from the middles in this one.
There it is. So there's Rico. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, I do my best. I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm learning as I go.
Hey, it's learning as on the fly. NCAA tournament. Here we are. So,
Nebraska and John Cook they're usually built for the tournament. They usually peak at the right time. Unfortunately, he was telling us last week and earlier this week that he felt as if they were peaking that Tuesday practice, that Wednesday practice, and then all the wind went out of their sails. All their hearts, dropped to the floor when Kenzie Knuckles got hurt. So they're trying to rebuild from that. Again, she'll be on the bench. She'll still be there offering support and being the captain that she is and letting people know, where they need to be, how they need to be, and giving her support during timeouts and during sets. So again, it's shades of, I believe they said 2000. See, I'm going to get this wrong. I'm not even going to say it. It's shades of another time when Nebraska was in the NCAA tournament and one of their players ended up getting hurt and was on the bench offering support.
There it is. So once again, ESPN Plus, right?
ESPN Plus for the first two rounds. ESPNU for regionals. ESPN for the Final Four.
And then it's always ESPN2.
And then ESPN2 for the championship.
Yeah, it's always ESPN2 for the championship.
I don't get it.
I'm never sure why. I never understand
so
why.
You got to get a streaming service to watch these first 2 rounds. Yeah. And then you got to go to ESPNU for more than likely Louisville.
Or make your way to the Bob. Make your way to the Bob.
Good luck.
Yeah, no, that's true. So it is interesting just looking at from a grander scale. Nebraska, we talked to Lincoln Arneal about it also yesterday. Like Nebraska, looking at the 4 regions on the bracket, or the 4 brackets, I should say, if you want to divide it up, Nebraska has the not easier path necessarily, but the better of the 4 options. Like they have the best opportunity in the Louisville bracket.
I don't know, because Louisville's been like low key. They've been a top 4 team all year. They just haven't been talked about. Stanford snuck into the top 4. I still think San Diego was robbed.
I think the big thing here, Rico, when you look at the volleyball, especially as Nebraska fans, you want to avoid Texas and Wisconsin for as long as you can.
I don't think so. They went down to Austin and beat Texas last year. I know this is a different Texas team with a lot of different players on this team, but they were a number 1 seed last year as well. And Nebraska went down there and took them down in Austin. So I don't think they're not. See, the thing is, they're not scared of anybody. I know the fans are I'm glad we avoided Texas and Wisconsin and Stanford and whatever, but this team, Maddie Kubik said it yesterday, when they play up to their potential, which they believe that they're getting up there, they think they can beat anybody in the nation. They're right up there with the top 4 teams. They're a 2 seed. They're in the top 10. They are one of the best teams in the nation. They're not scared of anybody. I understand that there's the long losing streak against Wisconsin. They haven't beat Stanford in quite some time. But again, the number 1 team in the nation, Texas, they went down to Austin, beat them last year.
And I get that. And I wasn't trying to say that Nebraska volleyball is scared of their opponents or anything like that.
Yeah.
And here's another thing that I guess we keep in mind. Danny Busboom Kelly is in Nebraska's bracket. They're in their region where she understands it.
She knows John Cook.
She knows John Cook. I guess maybe my way of thinking in that thought was, would you rather play Wisconsin on the road in Madison against a program that you haven't beaten them in so long, or would you rather play them in Omaha in the Final Four if you're able to make it?
Out of the top 4 seeds, Louisville is the one that you believe that everybody believes that you have a better chance.
And that's no knock against Louisville either. Like that's not a knock against Louisville. Just where we're at supposedly. So
if you go with 2 of the top 4 seeds, you already lost 2 this season. The other one, as I'm saying, you beat them last year, but they've been I think got one loss. They damn near perfect all year. Although they were pushed to 5 sets by Kansas, who again is here, has to play Miami. And Nebraska beat Kansas in 4 sets in Grand Island, an exhibition match. So, look, I know Nebraska volleyball is not scared of anybody. I'm not scared of anybody for them. I think they get the thing done. I am hoping to travel to Omaha, to watch the Final Four.
Well, so Qdoba guy asked Rico
to cover Nebraska.
To cover Nebraska specifically. Qdoba guy, Rico, we're going to the game tonight. What does the concession situation look like? Should we eat dinner before, or can I get myself a hot, delicious runza for Din Din? They got the concessions still on the bottom level, just like they did with the old Devaney, and also like in the main concourse.
There
level,
there are multiple concession stands throughout the Devaney. You will be just fine.
Yeah, so you can get a delicious runza.
For
Din Din.
For Din Din. Although if you do try to use the restroom in between the second and third sets, I'm letting you know because I had to do that. The lines are extremely long, and I missed like the first 7 points of the third set, and I felt terrible.
Yeah, Rico was up there crying.
I was.
There were reports.
I missed my my regular.
That's something factual that we can report.
Yeah, I missed my regular who got the first point of the set tweet.
Yeah, there it is. All right, let's go ahead and take our final time out. When we come back, we'll be joined by Nate and Strick for the crossover. We'll probably break down Husker hoops a little bit more. Strick was in the building. We were watching the game together last night from up in Media Row, and so we were we had some thoughts. We shared our thoughts on it. So we'll talk to Strick and Nate coming up in next as we wrap up Thursday's show on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93. Points.
Air and Alexa. If I need a repair tool, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Guys, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping has changed my life. I'm healthier, I'm more fit, I have more energy, and oh yeah, I've lost a bunch of weight, almost 100 pounds. Now's the time for you to take control of your health and join the Farrell's 10-week challenge. The program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition to set you up for success. And ticket listeners, you can get in for half off. The next challenge starts on January 7th at both of their locations, 40th and Yankee Hill, and a brand new spot at 70th and Vine. Get all the info at fx3lincoln.com. Join today. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
This is Todd Riley with American Senior Benefits. Medicare, they're probably getting bombarded with information right now about different options during the annual election period. It can all be incredibly overwhelming. We're here to help. The experts at American Senior Benefits can help you navigate all of your options and make the best decision for you. You can reach out via our Facebook page, American Benefits Lincoln, or call me directly at 402-413-9510. Let us help you make a informed decision.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for your school leisure. Is awfully expensive. Why not go start with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is having a hire event this Friday, December 2nd, and Saturday, December 3rd. Stop by between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Friday or from 9 a.m. to Saturday. Use today per hour. Make plans to attend Friday or Saturday at 28 Dover Street in Waverly. And if you can't make it, you can always apply at tractorsupply.jobs or text Tractor DC to 25000. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club or space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? No, forget that. How about a margarita club? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge and join the best club in town. 10 flavors of margaritas like Maui Wowie, burnt pineapple, and mango tango. Try all 10 of them and receive your own souvenir margarita glass. Make it your new Monday night tradition. $4 margaritas and $4 taco baskets. Grab the crew on that score combined Thursday.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer, or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West Oak Street.
Riddles Jewelry is excited to showcase the scintillating Levion jewelry collection. Levion is known for their love of reinventing fine designer jewelry through unique combinations of chocolate diamonds, vibrant gemstones, and precious metals. Riddles Jewelry, a family-owned business who put customers at the heart of what they do. No one colored your world better than Levion. So visit Riddles Jewelry today and receive $100 off any Levion purchase now.
Down here, Husker.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. Message cancel.
Young Tower with Nick's and it's closer to Kinetic. .com.
Welcome back to the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Final segment here, a little crossover action with Strick and Nate. I know Strick was at the basketball game last night, had himself a good old time, and it was a fun watch. I watched a lot of it on my phone because we were watching stuff.
They look good, man. They look good.
How you doing, Nate?
I'm doing all right. I'm hanging in there. Getting through the day. You know how it goes. Getting through the day. It's a Thursday. Thursday.
Oh, did I say that?
Go ahead.
No. I need a drink.
Thirsty
There's a lot
Thursday.
I got to get Strick set up.
Oh, that's okay.
No, we need you on here. You're a beautiful human being.
No, but so listen, man. I do, man. Kudos to the Husker squad, Fred Hoiberg and the whole staff over there. Got them prepared. And I know we'll talk about it a little bit on the block, but some of the things that I was excited about with what I saw is just one, it was a back-to-back game of over 20 assists, and that they have to do that. That's the type of style that they have to play. They don't have the type of team that can line you up and get space and get buckets. They're going to have to use each other, help each other, create for each other. And when you're unselfish like that, as I said, and I've been talking about, you're going to see a lot of there's going to be somebody different because it's going to open up for somebody else. And it's the hardest thing to game plan for, because you can game plan for certain things. You can tell somebody to run somebody off a three. You can say, run Keisei Tominaga's off three. But then by doing that, that's going to take you out of play. If Keisei plays it right, you get into penetration, that opens up for somebody else. And so then that's when a Wilcher gets hot. That's when a Vandermill gets hot. That's when stuff inside may open up for Akita. That's when you can't cover a Walker. You can't double team a Grease. It's one of those things. It may not be Grease was not. It wasn't. It was somebody else. And that's how they're going to have success, if they're going to have success on this
we talked about it before the season even started, that this basketball team kind of looks like you're not going to have one guy who goes for 25 every night. It's going to be somebody who goes for, maybe 20, but you're going to have a lot of people who have that capability. And that's what Nebraska basketball, the men's team, has right now, is they have a lot of people have the capability of going for 20 any night, but you're not looking at one person that has to score that much for you to win or stay in a game.
They scored 80 points.
Yeah, and that means that the opposing team can't just game plan for
You
somebody.
can't game plan.
They can't just key on somebody and say, all right, if we take this person out of it, then we win. Because guess what? If you try to take the ball handling duties away from Sam Greasel, guess what? Bandamel could do the same thing. They're running point center with Derek Walker. Like, there's so many people who can handle the ball and initiate the offense, so many people that can shoot, so many people that can get inside and create for themselves, that this men's basketball team has the capability to score a lot of points with a bunch of different people scoring the ball.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they have the capability to beat anybody because I don't know about that just yet, but they're looking pretty solid so far.
And what's good about last night is they shot 60% in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
They shot 67 in the second. Where they've been struggling, the struggle has been coming out of second halves. They haven't played full games. That was all last year.
That was
You know, it was always long stretch.
Yeah, you get blown out in the first, you come out in the second, you're like, oh, this is a completely different team. Or you play well in the first and you get blown out in the second.
Right. Where they literally, this game was pretty solid throughout the whole game.
They played a full game.
And they're consistently playing defense. And that's and they're winning rebound battles. I mean, it's a compilation of it all. And my thing is, and again, you'll probably hear some of this
regurgitated.
You
like that?
But
good word choice.
How about that?
They are.
So they pay me the
they're
big bucks.
going to be in close games.
Yes.
This is going to be the thing that they have. This is the lessons I think is going to come out of these next 3 games. I say if they win 1, that's good.
That's great.
If they win 2, that's phenomenal. If they win 3, they're setting themselves up to have a unique type of year.
I have no idea. What to think if they win.
If they win 3.
I don't know what to do.
Like, winning 1 is going to be good because it's going to teach them these lessons. But they've got to do, this is what they don't have to play flawless. They just have to play solid.
They have to play within
every
themselves.
category. Exactly. And the area that is really deficient for them right now, that if they don't do and they don't correct, is the free throw shooting.
Yes.
They cannot shoot 60% from the free throw line. The type of team that they have, and win at high clips against teams like they're going to play.
The people
that
over
75.
Yeah, your guards, your forwards are going to have to be able to shoot free throws at a higher clip because you're going to get fouled.
That's where you're going to get points.
Blaze Keita, if you're going to be as physical as you were last night, if you're going to go for all these offensive boards and these defensive boards, if you're going to be that physical, you got to shoot free throws because you're going to end up shooting free throws down the stretch.
Exactly.
Especially if Derek Walker gets into foul trouble like he did last night. If Blaze Keita, if you're on the floor, you got to hit at least 70%. You have to.
Period.
You can't, if you're shooting 60%, it's not good. It's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
You're gonna be in that clutch situation. Derek Walker might be in foul trouble, or they just need somebody with more size in there to get some more boards in a situation where they need some quick buckets. You're gonna get fouled because they know that you're struggling from the free throw line and that you're trying to get the ball out to one of the shooters to make a shot. So as soon as you get that ball, you're gonna get fouled. You have to be able to knock those down from the line.
Period.
You can't because Fred's the issue is going to be Fred's going to want to put him out there for his size, for his rebounding ability, for his pick setting ability, but he's not going to be able to trust him from the free throw line, and that's going to be the conundrum he's going to run into. Because then, do you put Derek Walker out there if he has those or if he has those foul issues, or you just think that he can box somebody out and somebody else can get the board? Do you put Wilhelm Breidenbach out there because he can shoot free throws, but maybe he's giving up a little bit of strength to the opposing big? It's going to be very confusing. Oleg Koyanets, he's a 7-footer, but he's giving up a lot of strength to the opposing bigs. That's something that Fred's going to have to deal with. And right now, through these first couple of games, the way that he's been using his players, the way he's been subbing them in and out has been phenomenal. The way he's been using Keisei Tominaga has been phenomenal.
Yes.
Using him off the bench, letting him be that spark plug and keeping him in the game when he's hot. And a thing that I've been very impressed by is Keisei's defense.
Yes.
Despite being one of the shorter guys on the floor, he's sticking with them.
Well,
he may still be giving up a couple of jump shots just because of how short he is, but he's right there.
The game before, he led the team in deflections with 7. This game, he might have even led this game too, on top of a couple of good steals that were really nice. With that left hand finish that he had, he's
high off the glass.
He's doing a lot of there's really he's the only one right now that I see doing that.
You know what that reminded me of?
Yeah.
His 3-on-3 with Japan.
Oh yeah.
Because he was coming off the dribble on everybody.
Yeah.
There. That one's really not an assist heavy type thing. That 3-on-3,
Yeah.
he's taking everybody off the dribble, hitting it high off the glass with the left hand. It was gorgeous. Although I do have one little criticism. One of those fast breaks, he had Sam Greasel up. He didn't have his eyes up. Could have hit him for an easy layup.
I agree.
Then they had to get to the half court offense.
And that same thing happened. This is where they've got to get more fundamental too. Is one situation where Vandermill drove the basket, and it was a fast break opportunity. He had Greasel on the left wing cutting.
He was late with it.
He was late. You've
got
got to
called
hit
for the
that
charge.
early. You've got to hit that early, and you've got to know in that situation as a defender. If I'm in that situation and I know I'm at a disadvantage, I am trying to take either a charge, jump the pass. I'm trying to do something because I know you've got me at a disadvantage.
Yep.
I'm trying to do something to throw you off.
I'm planting my feet. I'm taking the shoulder.
I'm trying to play and taking it too. That's what I'm doing. So you've got to. That's IQ stuff. That's the stuff I was talking to you about.
Right.
Just little IQ things.
Yes.
Got to jump stop.
You got to jump stop, drop it, and it's a wrap.
Mhm.
There's nobody else.
It was
in
an
there.
easy
It's
lay-in.
Easy play. You went one dribble too deep.
Yep. It happens.
It happens.
And
but
that's a
the
learning.
stuff-
That's a learning
That's
experience.
an experience.
That's something you can take forward when you play Creighton, when you play Purdue, when you play
They have to-
Indiana.
Coaching
Yeah.
staff has to identify it and have sit downs. I don't know if it's individual, collective. I don't know, but those are situations where I would clip certain things like that I would say I note that
Right
note
here.
time, and I'd clip that and I'd have a conversation with. This has got to.
Yeah. Right. What did you do wrong? What happened here? What were you thinking?
They have to see.
Where should you have gone?
Yeah.
Things like that. Creighton plays Texas tonight. Nebraska going to be watching that one. They got Creighton at the CHI Health Center for their next game. It's a tough stretch. 3 top 10 teams in a row. And not just 3 top 10 teams. You get Creighton with a Baylor Shireman who's playing fantastic. Just that whole team is just playing fantastic. Then you get Indiana with a Trace Jackson Davis who's back, who's playing great. And then you get possibly a person that's up for Player of the Year, Zach Edey in Purdue. This is a tough 3-game stretch.
If I'm you're right. If I'm Nebraska, I'm taking into account what we were able to do with that same Florida State team. Yes, they're 3 games down the road. We play the same type physical. So each game, and this is what I would say to the team if I had a chance to speak to them, right? I would tell them, I would give them insight that each game is not a game, just a game.
Mm-hmm.
Each game is a game within itself. When you're watching film, when you're studying film, when you're breaking down film, you've got to look at certain things, and it's not just watching what they do, what their sets are, what their defenses are. Your traditional 1-3, they're going to trap you here. It ain't just that. It's how do they rotate? If I drive here on this play, we're running these plays. Okay, we've got these 6 sets that we're probably going to run this game based on what coach is saying game plan. You take what game plan you have, and then you've got to understand, okay, if I come off this dribble handoff, what are they doing? Are they going under? Are they going over? Okay, if they're going over, okay, if I penetrate to this spot, who's rotating? Okay, if that rotation happens, what plays do I have available? You have to play these games in your mind.
2 steps ahead.
You have to. If you don't, when it happens, you're going to be surprised and you're going to get caught in the air, jumping, trying to find somebody.
Turnover.
But the game is different.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you come, there's going to be a Trace Jackson Davis in there. There's going to be different type. It's not going to be the same type of rotations. Then the next time when you play, when I'm watching, okay, we're going to run these type of sets. Okay, we're going to have post up here. Then we're going to come double here. Okay, I've got to know, okay, I'm going to dribble out. And I'm working on this in practice. I'm not just watching it and just thinking I'm working on those shots. I'm working on these mid-ranges because when I drive to the basket, Zach Edey's going to be there. I can't think that I'm going to get there bullheaded and just be trying to finish off the glass.
No.
That stuff is getting tossed back into the front row, right? Okay, I've got to either have floaters here. So this week I'm working on floaters. I'm working on mid-range.
I think Fred likes floaters.
Listen, I understand, but teams are running you off threes and try to keep going bullheadedly to the rim on guys like Zach Edey. And you're getting pinned.
It's getting pinned
so
every
you're
time.
going to have to do something.
Yep.
You figure it out. Floaters are mid-range.
Casey's been hitting them.
Floaters are mid-range.
It'll work.
So those are the things. There's multiple games being played, man.
It's gonna be fantastic. All these next 3 opponents, they all play a different brand of basketball.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough stretch.
Yeah. Creighton, hyper athletic, great shooters.
Exactly.
Indiana, tough defense. And Purdue's just plodding. They're not going to score a lot of points. They don't want to score a lot of points. They're going to hand it off to Edey. He's going to hit you with some post moves. You better be ready for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have that situation, you got to think about box out. So no standing around. You got to get to the weak side
Find a
because
body.
you got to find a body.
Find a body. It's
Yeah.
necessary. That's going to do it for the happy hour here on 93.7 The Ticket. Up next, the guys on the block. Quick synopsis. What are you guys going to talk about?
We're going to talk about some basketball, college football playoff scenarios. We'll talk some shootout with Strick. We got a packed show.
All right. It's going to be really interesting. Stay tuned. The guys from On the Block joined me here. They're going to be up next. Adios.